Welcome back, everybody. It's a new day, and that means we are one day closer to being able to throw ourselves into that launch window of Dune Awakening there at the beginning of June. And if we're lucky, we'll be able to jump in and try out Dune a little bit earlier with that major beta test that everyone, I'm sure, who's watching this video has definitely clicked on and signed up for. Today, what we want to focus on is whether or not PvP is going to be a viable option when it comes to this game, because I'm hearing mixed results from both parties. Some saying that large-scale PvP is going to be horrible, others saying that regular PvP is absolutely the funnest thing they've done inside of a game. We don't know much, but we have seen quite a few videos leaked now that they've lifted the NDA. So what I want to do today is just dive into some of the examples that we have been seeing floating around and just share some ideas on whether or not this is going to be the style of gameplay you want to do when you jump into Dune Awakening. Now, when it comes to MMORPG PvP, I know of three options which you can choose from. You can either be a solo, small group, or a Zerg. The solo-ended PvP players always like to hide in the cracks and attack stuff from a distance and try to disrupt smaller groups that are manageable, that they can create chaos and get people, upset about, being annoyed by this individual who is like scratching at the surface, trying to get this and that and pick up things along the side. There are a lot of people who are successful at this, and I do think that this game will, as we will see as we start looking at different video clips, can be accomplished by someone who has skill and understanding of how the game is working. Now, the medium size or the small groups that I'm talking about are usually anywhere between 4 to 10 players. These guys are usually trying to secure area sites where they can extract goods, minerals, or different items from deep PvP areas so that they can bring them back for not only guild use, but for selling and, progressing the game in that way. And of course, as games move along and people start getting wiser to the notion that maybe your skills at PvP are not that great, you tend to start gravitating towards bigger groups of people, and you get these Zergs that come out and try to control the entirety of zones. Now, which one is right, which one's wrong, which one's fun, it's not for me to decide. It's a subjective matter. What do I like to do? I personally am a solo and small group PvP guy. Of course, I've also been known to play Albion Online, where I get into 1,000 man Zergs. So it just depends on the situation and the group of people that you're with. When it comes to Dune Awakening, though, what I can say is I am thoroughly impressed with the possibilities of solo and small group PvP, because what I'm starting to see is this is not just a game where you can be one-shot killed and erased off the field like most MMOs are. It looks like there's going to be strategy and a fighting chance for everybody to be able to duck and cover, to regain their shields, and know when to attack or not to attack in order to suffer or gain consequences that will be either favorable or disadvantaged to you whenever you are playing. Now, to begin with, I want to throw a shout out to Tacticat, who has dropped this video of him and his friends using PvP combat to kind of test the system and see how it fits. Thanks a lot for that, guys. Without you, we would have zero idea what we are getting ourselves into. But keeping that in mind, I want to instantly jump into the fact that we will have multiple devices at our disposal to deploy that will aid us in not only retreating, but attacking, as well as crowd controlling people. And being able to master these devices and pick and choose them correctly for what kind of playstyle you want to get into is going to determine whether or not you are successful on that battlefield. as we'll see. One single characteristic that most games will have when it comes to a long short-range combat focus is going to be the throwable objects such as grenades. You will have grenades which are going to be able to create bubbles that slow people down. You'll be able to have grenades which are shocking with different elements, probably burning as well. And on top of this, you'll have the ability to deploy objects like turrets or different traps which will slow down the enemy or give you that option to retreat to get your shield back or try to get some more health in. So it's always going to be a central focus that when you're in PvP, you will need to know exactly which devices you should be deploying in order to stay alive or to press the attack. Now, one thing that's got me extremely excited here is seeing how smooth the deployment of the class skills are being executed on the field. So you have the Mentat on one side, which is deploying his little dart turret that's able to shoot and grab him some cover. Now, what I like about this is that turret is not just working as an offensive weapon, it's also working for a defensive purpose, allowing him to maneuver off the field and get into a safe location in order to recharge the shields or try to get more health. The second one is the Swordmaster, who is flying in with his knee and kind of knocking someone unconscious for a few seconds while he determines what his next move is going to be. Both of these things are happening on a PvP server and they are looking extremely smooth. Now, there were some complaints about lag or whatnot, but I'm pretty sure this is what Funcom is trying to work out as they are deploying this major beta test here coming up in the early parts of May. Another really important aspect that I keep seeing over and over in these videos is the concept of hydration. And I know hydration gives you some effective agility boosts, which are going to be central to staying alive, according to the live stream that was talking about combat not long ago. Now, for me, I love this secondary factor, which is really determining how long you can maintain yourself on the battlefield itself. Because if you have not prepared properly, you are going to find yourself leaving the battlefield early because you obviously just cannot sustain yourself. Now, what I'm really liking the most is the fact that no one is dying instantly. There's nothing worse than jumping into an MMO that has PvP aspects to it and someone's able to chop you down in like 2 seconds. If you're looking at these videos, you're seeing guys who are actually absorbing quite a few blows before they start really losing their shield and their health. They're able to find time to duck behind counters and try to regain their shield so that they can maintain the fight and put up more of an effort towards the ability to turn the fight in their advantage. Now, I'm definitely going to say that I believe this is going to be the type of game that is won or lost on the battlefield according to how well you understand the mechanics of the game. For example, it's well noted that when you start shooting your weapon, your shields drop. So if you are able to understand that mechanic, you might be able to find a space or a little bit of time that you can counter somebody while they're opening fire. Now, this I believe is going to be more of an issue when you get into medium and large scale fighting, because you are going to be able to attack people from angles according to what they are shooting at. So knowing when to fight and when to attack your enemies is going to definitely be determined on the battlefield by knowing when the right time to push or retreat is in order to find the advantage in terms of fighting. In this way, I really believe Dune Awakening has really set the tone for the way that MMOs in terms of PvP should be handled in the future. Now, what do you think about all this? Because I'm always interested to know what a community as a whole are thinking about in terms of whether they're going to PvP or are they just going to sit back and PvE around the free zones. Let me know in the comments below as well. Remember to like and subscribe because, hey, I want to build this community and I want you guys to be in it with me. Once again, thanks for watching and have a great day.